The very latest from former Delhi Deputy Chief Minister Manish Sisodia's bail hearing. The bail hearing will now be on March the 21st. The order by the court has just been reserved. So March the 21st is when the court will rule on Sisodia's bail plea. Remember, the arguments have been on in court for the last couple of hours. I want to go straight across to India Today's Anisha Mathur to get a quick word in on this. Anisha, explain this to us. The order has been reserved. Bail hearing on March the 21st now.
Well, yes, Shiv, very clearly the ED may well get custody of Mr. Manish Sisodia for a few days, because for the last more than 2 hours we've been hearing the petition, the application by the Enforcement Directorate for 10 days custodial interrogation of Mr. Manish Sisodia. At the same time, we were also waiting to hear Sisodia's bail plea in the CBI case. Remember, so far he had been under arrest in the CBI case. Yesterday evening is when the ED took him into custody and is asking for custodial interrogation. So now the court of Special CBI Judge M.K. Nagpal very clearly saying that the bail plea in the CBI case will be on 21st of March at 2 p.m. And in the meantime, the court has reserved its verdict on how many days the Enforcement Directorate will actually get to interrogate Mr. Manish Sisodia. That order will be passed very shortly. In about 15 to 20 minutes, or maximum by about half an hour, we should get an order on how many days custodial interrogation will the Enforcement Directorate get for Mr. Sisodia. But at least for now, it is very clear that Mr. Sisodia will not be walking out from the Rouse Avenue court at this stage. It does very clearly mean that there is big trouble ahead for Mr. Manish Sisodia, since he will now, it looks like, be sent to custody of the Enforcement Directorate for at least a few days, since his bail hearing has been adjourned till 21st of March. Remember, for the last 2 hours plus, we've been here talking about the hearing in the Enforcement Directorate case. The ED is saying that they need custodial interrogation of Mr. Manish Sisodia, because they have witness statements, they have documentary evidence, they have other evidence to show that there were monetary transactions between the Aam Aadmi Party and liquor license holders by L1 license applicants, connected also to the BRS, that money changed hands between Hyderabad and Delhi. They've also been saying, the Enforcement Directorate has been saying, that there were meetings where Mr. Sisodia is, there are witnesses who are saying that there were meetings where Mr. Manish Sisodia was directly responsible for key changes in the liquor policy, which gave larger profit margins and faster clearances to certain liquor license holders, which is why these kickbacks were received. And the ED has said that we need his custodial interrogation to confront him with several persons, including persons who've been summoned by the ED in the next few days, to confront him with them and to go into this money trail. Now, this is going to be a very, very interesting thing to watch, Shiv, in the next few days, how the ED is going to continue its investigation, particularly since BRS leader K. Kavita is also expected to join in for questioning in this particular matter on the 11th of March, which is just tomorrow. So is the ED going to build this framework of this case further, or is it that, as the Aam Aadmi Party lawyers have been arguing, for Sisodia's lawyers have been arguing, this is a malified case being built only for political reasons, because the agencies do not want Mr. Sisodia to be released on bail? A lot will be answered when the court's order comes in a short while. Back to you.
In a short while, the court, just to clarify very quickly for our viewers, two separate things going on in court. The CBI bail hearing will now happen on March the 21st. The court will rule on the Enforcement Directorate remand. The Enforcement Directorate, as Anisha just pointed out, have asked for 10 days of custody for custodial interrogation. Amit Bharadwaj also joining our coverage. Amit, very shortly we'll know what the Enforcement Directorate gets. They've asked for 10 days.
Shiv, quite interesting to see how the proceedings in the court today went on. You know, in the Rouse Avenue court, you had Manish Sisodia's counsel arguing and trying to puncture the entire ground on which ED is actually trying to, keep Mr. Sisodia in their custody. So much so that they said that there is no money trail. So far, they have not been able to track down a single rupee, single penny back to Manish Sisodia. And they also went, saying that there have been multiple claims, multiple amounts have been referred to, but no money trail has been found so far. So clearly, as far as Manish Sisodia's counsel are concerned, they have tried to protect their client, they have tried to protect Mr. Sisodia in this particular case, and it went to the extent that ED had to point out that Mr. Sisodia has brought in 3 lawyers to defend his case, to fight out his case. Very interesting to see whether the Enforcement Directorate is going to get those 10 days of further custody or not, because the investigation as far as the ED is concerned will purely depend on whether they are getting the full custody of Mr. Sisodia or not, and probably the legal reporters will be able to comment on it as well. But definitely, if ED is not going to get the custody, those 10 days of custody, and if Mr. Sisodia is sent back to judicial custody, that could have its own kind of impact on the CBI bail hearing, because remember, if ED gets the custody, then the case or ray of hope for Manish Sisodia would get reduced. At least that's what the perception is right now. Back to you, Shiv.
Anisha, if you could just summarize for us the, Manish Sisodia's legal team, their arguments against Enforcement Directorate remand. What exactly are they saying?
Well, Shiv, the legal team for Mr. Manish Sisodia, which is Senior Advocate Dayan Krishnan, Senior Advocate Mohit Mathur and Senior Advocate Siddharth Agarwal, have raised multiple points of argument. First of all, of course, being that there is no clear money trail, there is no direct evidence against Mr. Sisodia which links him to any monetary transaction. Secondly, what they've said is that all evidence that the ED is talking about relies on hearsay evidence by persons who were not directly involved. However, the ED, of course, remember, has been saying that they have a statement by Mr. Sisodia's own secretary regarding changes in the policy. At the same time, the Sisodia's lawyers are also saying that the ED never questioned Mr. Sisodia in all this while. Remember, this investigation has been going on for several months now. However, the Sisodia's lawyers are saying that till date they never even called him for questioning, but only a day before his bail hearing did they go for questioning, and then they arrested him, which according to Sisodia's lawyer is a malified decision done due to political reasons. Fourthly, of course, they are saying that just because an agency has the power to arrest does not mean that they should be granted that particular arrest or custodial interrogation. They are saying that there is no direct evidence against Sisodia, and therefore there is no need to arrest him or keep him in custody for interrogation. So all 4 arguments have been extensively made by Sisodia's legal team. Of course, to oppose these arguments, the ED's counsel, Advocate Shoaib, has also, however, said that there is evidence against Manish Sisodia. Shoaib has been arguing that there is this argument that is being made about hearsay evidence, etc., is incorrect, because they do have witness statements, because they do have documentary evidence in this particular matter. And I'm just going to point out one particular point here, that the ED in its arguments has been creating a direct link between K. Kavita and Manish Sisodia here. They have been saying continually that there was a conversation between Vijay Nair and K. Kavita, and that is why money came from Hyderabad. And that is going to be a very, very crucial point in this entire situation, Shiv, because with the ED again and again saying that they have evidence of the money trail from Hyderabad in Delhi, and we've seen the way the political outrage has come out from the BRS. We had senior BRS leaders and Karyakartas in Jantar Mantar this morning against the Enforcement Directorate. We've had this political drama also brewing there, where now with the ED telling court that they have links, they have evidence of transaction, that is also something that is likely to be roped in. But effectively the ED has said that just because a policy matter is there, it is by the executive, but it can be questioned by the court, because this was an argument by Sisodia's lawyers that this is a policy decision. It has gone through every layer, including the LG. You cannot question it just because it was passed very quickly.